November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Peace, family. My name is Vicky Dillon for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you come in, be sure to come in giving us a big thumbs up, and share the broadcast. We ask that you do that because it makes it more likely that other folks will know that we're here and generate notifications. And for that, we say thank you so much. I often remind us that because we're alternative Black media, sometimes we deal with forces, circumstances and situations that try to prevent, frustrate, and foil folks knowing that we're here. So when you're intentional about sharing and being active on the platforms, it allows other folks to know that we're here. So that's so important for our message. Yes, we're the counter voice to mainstream media's voice. Yes, family, we have a doozy today. I will not delay in getting right to where we are going. Certainly, how many of you all have probably heard about by now the fact that your president, Donald Trump, has issued, beloved, executive orders so that the military is now controlling the police in D.C. Now, for those of you that may or may not know, of course, Washington, D.C. is not a state in and of itself. Yes? So it does not have a governor as we know it. So the Black lady, Miss Brower there, who is an absolute raccoon and not effective for Black American in period, she, right before I came on, I did a little bit more research because how many of you all know it's always information that's generating minute by minute. I found out that she just met with Attorney General Bondi. Now, Miss Bondi, is a little suspect, to say the least, as well. Now, I'm going to tell you my issue that's happened related to the mayor, Black mayor, Miss Mariel Browder. She met with the white attorney general conservative, and she actually came out right before I came on with some positive news related to Trump's takeover of her city. I'm going to tell you, baby, what we're going to discuss today is the hidden stuff that perhaps nobody else is talking about related to what's really going on. Now, I want us to get ready to show you, first and foremost, this brief clip, just to give you a little bit of context of what Trump is up to. Yes? The first video here I want us to get ready to play related to Trump's press conference where he is talking about him imposing martial law in so many words and taking over the city. Watch this brief video.
A lot of people, most I've ever seen in this room. And we're here for a very serious purpose, very serious purpose. Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening. They've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
Okay, family. So you saw that brief clip, yes? Now, Trump is all of a sudden talking about they need to take over the city with such draconian action that it's now under federal control, D.C., their police department, right? First of all, how many of you all know that D.C. right now is experiencing very low crime rates, historically speaking, right now, right? And when you look at other cities, I believe it's 20 some other cities ahead of even DC in terms of higher crime rates. Now, you got to ask yourself something. If this was a serious issue since Trump has been in office, don't you know that you would have heard about it more than just the other day? They would have done a public build-up of this if this was truly as big of an issue as he's making it. In addition to what I just said about the historic low crime rates, in addition to me mentioning to you the fact that he would have told you this, we would have known about this days, weeks ago, that this is really an issue. You all know that Trump loves a good fight, but Trump is in trouble. So he's obviously trying to distract from a lot of things, but that's not all. Now, I want us to get ready to post this next article. I was just giving you a little bit of background so that you can hear directly from him during his press conference on what he's up to. Now, before we post this next article, the first article I want us to post is from NPR, where the headline says Trump's Washington, D.C. takeover targets a host of groups, many of them vulnerable. I'm going to tell you something. How many of y'all remember when Trump was running for presidency this last time? I believe, if I remember correctly, he might have been in Pennsylvania doing a campaign. How many of you all know that Trump talked about actually doing a purge day to where for one full day, the police can, law enforcement, I'm saying police, but law enforcement in general can just go crazy. And so speculation, headlines were dominating the media. Again, this was literally about 8-9 months ago, where Trump is literally sitting here talking about doing a legit purge. How many of y'all remember that? I got to connect some dots. Well, keep that in mind with what I'm about to read, just a little bit of this article now. Trump's Washington, D.C. takeover targets a host of groups, many of them vulnerable. This article was just written, and this is what it says. President Trump said Monday he'll use the National Guard and Metro Police. President Trump said Monday he'll use the National Guard and Metropolitan Police to target criminals in Washington, D.C., but criminals aren't his only targets. Trump also called, y'all listen, for a purge, y'all listen to the words, of poor people and people without housing from the nation's capital. Much of his toughest rhetoric was aimed at young people. Trump has frequently used harsh language to describe immigrants living in the U.S. without legal status. During a press conference at the White House on Monday, he used similar rhetoric to describe Americans he accused of destroying the nation's capital. So Trump is not even talking about the migrants here. He's specifically talking about who? Americans. Now, of course, we know that D.C. is considered to be what, a chocolate city. Of course, there are other cities like in New Orleans area as well, but it's a predominantly black city, right? But watch this. Our city, I'm quoting now, our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs, and homeless people. It goes on. Of course, y'all saw a little bit of a clip of what he said too a minute ago, but violent crime is at a 30-year low, as I mentioned earlier, according to the Justice Department data, but Trump says he wants those city residents dealt with harshly. Trump said Metropolitan Police will operate more aggressively under federal control. Are y'all listening? For the next 30 days. Trump said cops will be allowed to do, quote, whatever the hell they want. Trump's primary targets are those he describes as criminals, in this case, often teenagers, many of them Black. Washington has struggled at times with violence caused by young men who sometimes ride motorcycles and four-wheelers. Trump spoke about them at length Monday. The city's police chief, Pamela Smith, was asked about this issue in a separate Monday press conference. Quote, we want young people to be safe in our city, she said. We want them to be able to enjoy the activities of our city, but we're not going to tolerate the kind of criminal activity that we've seen in the past. Smith said before this week's federal takeover of Metropolitan Police, the city had juvenile curfews in effect in parts of the city that were working. But some say displacement of vulnerable groups that Trump has lumped in with criminals, homeless people, the mentally ill, and people experiencing addiction isn't effective. Experts say if the president does, as he's threatened, forcing unhoused people out of Washington away from their families and support networks and healthcare, it could be devastating. Many in these groups are severely ill. Now, when we scroll down in this article, we can see who the article highlights. Y'all see that group of Black people right there? Specifically Black youth. Now look at me. I'm going somewhere. Are y'all listening? I want you to understand the two major things he's claiming he's addressing or targeting is criminals, allegedly. And what? Homeless people. He ain't studying the migrants in this instance. He is specifically targeting Black Americans. He specifically talked about those that are on motorbikes and others, and so-called gangbangers. Baby, I got a doozy for you. Y'all know Vicky Dilla don't play, and we don't miss over here, baby. And what I'm going to tell you, and the dots I'm getting ready to connect for you, it's not about just you being able to recite facts that the mainstream media gives you. Whenever I'm covering stories, I'm trying to give you what's behind it. I'm giving you the unseen news. Talk Black to me. Okay? Now I want us to prepare to put up this next article. I got a whole lot of receipts, baby. So I'm getting to where I'm going, and then I'll thread the parts together. And perhaps I might even do a part 2. Y'all know how I do. Because this is a lot, and I'm trying to get to where we're going quickly. Watch this. I want us to put up this article here about the military, please. Can we please put up the article from military.com, this news article? I want to remind you all of something that we referred to some months back that was taking place specifically with Black soldiers. How many of y'all remember this story? Let me get it. Hopefully we have it pulled up so you can see it. Watch this. This headline says, new Army shaving policy will allow soldiers with skin condition that affects mostly Black men to be kicked out. Y'all listen to me right now. Great. Okay, awesome. It should be up. I'm going to read you just a little bit of this because I got some more receipts. The Army is preparing to roll out a new policy. By the way, this article, family, was written June of this year. Pay attention. The Army is preparing to roll out a new policy that could lead to soldiers diagnosed with a chronic skin condition that causes painful razor bumps and scarring to be kicked out of service, an issue that disproportionately affects Black men. The new guidance, expected to take effect in the coming weeks, would bar permanent shaving waivers and require medical personnel to craft formal treatment plans for affected troops. I'm going to skip down. This piece, was it this one? Yes. This piece Oh no, that was another one that I was going to read from in just a minute. This particular piece says here, I'm gonna read a little bit more, then I'm gonna stop. Soldiers in need of prolonged waivers may get, this is it. Soldiers in need of prolonged waivers may be directed to get laser treatments. Vicky, where you going? Those who need shaving exemptions for more than 12 months over a 2-year period could be kicked out of the Army. Units across the force will also be mandated to rebrief personnel on grooming standards within 90 days of the policy's rollout. Most shaving waivers are for soldiers diagnosed with pseudo folliculus. Now I know I'm messing that up. Barbate or PFB. Somebody put PFB in the chat. Don't hold this Southern girl's pronunciation against me right there. A condition in which hairs curl back into the skin after shaving and cause irritation. The Pentagon may cover the laser treatment. Y'all listening? The Pentagon. The War Department, family. Some of y'all may say, well, because it got to do with soldiers. No, slowness. No slowness. If they're not paying soldiers what they're worth in the first place, if our soldiers aren't even getting the medical treatment that sometimes that they need, if our veterans aren't being taken care of like they're supposed to be, what makes you think that them happily paying for this, it just makes sense? No, it's an agenda. Walk with me. The Pentagon may cover the laser treatment, but they can cost thousands of dollars per soldier, depending on the number of sessions required. It's unclear how many soldiers will require the procedure. The American Osteopathic College of Dermatology estimates that up to 60% of Black men are affected by the condition. Laser treatments can cause scarring and changes in skin pigmentation. Stop. Look at me and listen. If you've been following me over the years on multiple platforms and different networks that I have been on, you know that I am a spiritual. I don't give a rat's you know what you think about that. We're the original people on the entire planet. And we always moved throughout civilization with an unseen guidance. And that is how we were able to manifest untold numbers of golden ages. We were able to tap into the heavens, the constellations, and know stuff we didn't know without some of the mechanisms that we have today. We like to believe that we're some advanced civilization, but we don't even have an official cure for the common cold. Our ancestors accurately tapped into spaces, literal dark spaces, light years away. Millions, billions, trillions of miles away without a NASA vessel. How is that possible? No matter what your religion is, no matter what your spiritual system is, you always know that in ancient times, there was always some spiritual connection. There was always a prophet, a practitioner, a magician, a magi, a sorcerer that a nation's leader had a connection to. So this is not some strange woo-woo spooky stuff. And the condition of our society today, none of you all should be able to mock it, because we're not in a powerful condition today to where we can justify being disconnected from a spiritual source. I'm bringing that up for a reason. As a spiritual, why do you think, especially in recent years and expediting in recent months, they're specifically targeting Black soldiers? I have posited the notion that they are concerned about Black men and women in particular in places of power, in the military and in government. Because when the powers that shouldn't be want to do something wicked, that Blackness gets in the way. That cosmic, spiritual race material. That's why I rock with the diaspora. I keep first things first with my lineage here as foundational Black American. But the Blackness in ancient times and throughout the world was always known to be a special code to the heavens. So much so, how many of y'all know, and I know this deep, I'm doing the Vicky Dillon Mystery School, that's my monthly mastermind, that your hairs are an extension of your nervous system. It's an extension, and I'm going to say it this way, of your electrical system, of your spine area, of your chakra system. How many of you all know that some of our hairs are considered to be 9 ethers? How many of you all know that another word that we use for the heaven is we call it the ethers? Your hairs actually has something to do with your connections to access and receive knowledge from an unseen network. I know this heavy. I posit this as a notion to one of the reasons they're trying to make sure that they get rid of those of us that have cosmic access through our melanin and through our blackness and through our hairs. That's one of the reasons why they're targeting them, and also to purge out Black folks from the military. Why, Vicky? I'm going to show you in a minute. But before I do, quickly, let's put up the next article. Did y'all know it's not just police? How many of you all know that they've been targeting Black firefighters? Can we prepare that clip really quick, please, team? And it's not just any firefighter. This very brief clip I want you to watch is specific to DC firefighters that's suing Washington, that's suing the department over clean shave policy. Did y'all hear what I said? I said firemen, Black firemen that's putting out fires to save your life. What that's got to do with anything? Watch this clip.
Khaled Bullock and Darrell Herman have more than 30 years of combined experience working for DC's fire and EMS.
For me, it is something that I enjoy.
To render and to the best of my ability, the best I can be, and to do all I can do for the citizens of the city.
The pair, along with 15 other Black DC firefighters and EMTs, say their career took a turn in 2020 when the department implemented a new policy requiring all personnel to shave their facial hair. The 17 firefighters say that policy was discriminatory against their religious beliefs and those with medical conditions, so they filed a lawsuit. Bullock is Muslim and says facial hair is a key component to his religion.
That the man must grow and maintain facial hair, and must maintain the beard at all.
Herman suffers from pseudofolliculitis, Barbe, also known as PFB. It's a condition that predominantly affects African American men, causing pain and, in some cases, infections when shaving their hair.
Imagine if you had poison ivy on your face and then you take a razor to it. Or if you had poison ivy, if anybody's ever had poison ivy on your arm, your legs, and then you have to take a razor to shave hair or whatever off of your skin. I've been dealing with this since I was a teenager through puberty.
The firefighters say before the policy, they were able to perform all their duties with their facial hair. The group says they were able to pass all required fit tests and wore safety masks that were sealed around their face. According to the firefighters, they asked for accommodations, but they say they were removed from the field, reassigned to administrative or EMS-only roles, and missed out on promotions for nearly 2 years.
I think it's been approximately 2 or 3 promotions that I missed out on, in particular because of the stress, the schedule change, family issues.
It was very hard to study for a promotion and try to grow here in DC Fire when I'm told that I'm not going to be a part of DC Fire any longer.
The firefighters say they want to be able to continue serving their community even after the litigation plays out.
Go back to their full duties. And be able to just go back to doing what we love, what we do, serve this community.
Okay, family. So did you all see that? Vicky, where you going? Why are they targeting Black men in particular, the military, and specifically the firemen in Washington, D.C.? Now, with the firemen, some of these issues took place during the pandemic, but it's up the ante now. They changed the policy a little bit, say, okay, we allow short hairs and all that. And as you just heard there, they were not impaired from doing their jobs effectively. And of course they wouldn't be. It's nonsensical. Unless there's something else that's being planned. And this is what I want to talk to you about. Go back to the executive orders that Trump issued. Who did they target? So-called crime, alleged gangbangers, that kind of stuff is what he's trying to hint at there, and homeless. Specifically, he talked about even the youth. Now, he ain't talking about no migrants. He's specifically targeting Americans and disproportionately Black Americans. Why am I emphasizing what Trump emphasized related to those young folks that are in the area and that are on motorbikes and bicycles and stuff like that? The problem is, if you a gangbanger and if you run in the streets, come real close to the screen. I promise you, I brush my teeth. You might see something that you're not supposed to see. If you are a young person with a modern phone that you just might record something that you don't need to be recording. Yes, I'm FBA. And yes, it's a local issue. But Washington, D.C. is a global hub. And what if Trump and the deep state that's controlling him that he's a part of are planning to bring somebody's in and out that they don't want you to see and know about? Notice it's only for 30 days. Notice when I started this broadcast, I told you I did some research right before I came on. And I told you that I just found out that Miss Mayor Brower just met with the Attorney General, and your Black Democrat mayor said she thinks some good can come out of this. She said that she wants to maximize the federal resources that they're going to get. Let me hit my gavel. Where they do that at? Vicky, stop screaming. You on Brother Phil's channel. I try to just do this on my channel, screaming and hollering and stop. Why is she embracing her town, her city, being taken control of after first objecting? And now that she met with Attorney General Bondi, she's talking about she wants to enjoy. Thank you, scream it out. Thank you, Brother Phil. Now, Miss Pam, yeah, I want y'all to look this up. Y'all's Black mayor just said, oh, I think it might be some good to come out. I want to focus on maximizing. What was her and Pam Bondi talking about? Attorney General Pam Bondi talking about in their meeting? And what is Trump and them planning for the next 30 days that they don't want? Watch this, a homeless person or somebody on the streets, and God forbid, a young person that may have a phone to record something and see something that they don't want seen going in and out of the city. What better way than to have the federal government take control of the city so that they can control and be the gatekeepers? Who does Trump want to bring into your Black city? No, they got to remove the firemen out of the way, because how many of you all know that whenever something major goes on, they have to be on duty? And they want to be, for sure, make sure that the police aren't, or the Black soldiers aren't. Let me tell you something. The reason why you never hear about a Black soldier reaching the heights, high heights in military without being a control tool, is because they don't want that Black melanin and your consciousness to get in the way of nothing. Your righteousness always messes up a global agenda. See, some of you all don't understand. Do you all know that when they go out of space, this is not just conspiracy stuff with your unspiritual, unmagical self, but I'm going to stay logical with you all because some of y'all can't go there with me right now. You think you're so smart, so I got to stay with facts. Do you all know that when NASA goes out of space, do you know what they pad the space vessels with? Do your research. Melanin. How many of y'all know about the Black woman, Henrietta Lacks, who they call her cells, healer cells, eternal cells, a Black woman that they claim had cancer. And when she died, they stole her cells and kept it from the family. And through that Black woman's mitochondrial cells, because we're the original person, every person on the planet can trace their mitochondrial genes back to the Black woman. That's why I'm bringing this up. It's not about a gender war, fool. Do you know that with her cells, they made breakthroughs in science and in technology? And so her family has been suing them for all these many decades, and they just recently got an undisclosed settlement a few years ago. Ask yourself, if it wasn't more to you than what meets the eye, why in the hell are they padding their NASA vessels with your melanin? And why are they doing secret research? And why did they take her cells out of space in Jim Crow when we were still being lynched and couldn't use the same toilets? But I want to tell you a little something, and I'm going to do a part 2. Can we do this last brief clip? Dr. King family, when our dear brother Dr. King passed, I remember doing some of my research years ago that some of the retired Black Memphis police came forward and said that no Black officer was assigned to Martin Luther King on the day of his assassination. Now, when you Google it now, AI try to come out to try to say, well, we can't prove this, that, and the third. I was going to give you a reference, but I came across this clip from an actual retired Memphis police sergeant, Mr. Jerry Williams. He spoke to NPR, y'all, many years ago. I want to say, was this 2007 or so? Approximately. Guess what he said on the record? Don't listen to Vicky. Listen to him. Can we get that clip ready, team? And we're almost done. Okay, family, looks like we might be having a little technical issue here. Watch this. I want you to, I'm going to read the article then until we can get this squared away. Watch this. What I wanted you to see was this direct testimony from our brother, Sergeant Jerry Williams. Now, Sergeant Jerry Williams, and I'm going to read to you a little bit from the article, which is actually set up as a transcript. Amy Goodman, who's been working with Democracy Now! For a long time, she talks to Jerry Williams, and he says, my name is Jerry Williams. I'm a retired Memphis policeman. During the time of Dr. King's assassination, I was working the homicide bureau in the Memphis Police Department. And on 2 previous occasions when Dr. King would come to Memphis, I was assigned to head his security team. But the last time he came, there were no Black officers assigned for that security. Are y'all listening? No problem. So I'm going to read it to you, fam, because we had a little bit of a technical issue. Okay, y'all keep listening, okay? So our brother here, this is a direct video. We're going to have the footage ready for you later, but I'm reading word for word from his direct transcript. So Amy Goodman says to him, why, right? Thank you so much. Amy Goodman says to him, why? He says, why they changed it up? Because normally, like he said, he always is the one that was assigned to Dr. King. But he said during this last time when he was assassinated, he was not assigned. Why? He said, well, I really don't know. I just know I reported to work on the morning of Dr. King's assassination, and I was told by my inspector that we would not be on the assignment. So I commenced to do my regular duties as a homicide officer in the office. And later on, around 5 in the afternoon, we heard that Dr. King was assassinated. When we got the information in the office, Inspector Zachary said that we have to get down to Lorraine Motel that Dr. King had been assassinated. I remember getting my hat and coat, and when I got to the door, the inspector said, y'all listen, no, I'm going to have at least 2 officers stay in the office because we're going to be getting calls from all over the country. They would let him in, y'all, which we did. Within 5 minutes, we were getting calls from San Francisco, New York, Hawaii, and London, England, all wanting the confirmation of Dr. King's assassination. Shortly after that, I was called to the scene where Dr. King was assassinated to bring the camera. The police camera had broken, and of course, we had cameras in our office in homicide, so I was told to bring a camera down there. So I carried the camera down there, and they proceeded to do the pictures at the scene. My partner and I left and went to St. Joseph Hospital on North 2nd Street to view Dr. King's body. And from that time on, we were assigned to work the homicide. The lonely sanitation people, he talks about the lonely sanitation people who Dr. King gave his life for. He said they were the ones that stuck with him. They were the ones who marched and picketed City Hall and had the sign, I am a man. They are the ones that had tremendous effect on the change that took place here in Memphis, and not the so-called professional people. It was the little person, the ones who worked on the sanitation trucks. I'm going to stop there. Family, he gives some more explosive testimonies later, but I'm going to do that on part 2, and we're going to show you his testimony later. I want to connect some dots for you to understand. It's more going on. And how many of you all know that my last broadcast that I did a few days ago proved to be very prophetic? It was a pre-record about the former DC mayor, Marion Barry, the Honorable Marion Barry. I told y'all remember they set him up, the FBI set him up because he was using Black resources to get tangibles, contracts, money, jobs, education, and all kind of stuff for all kind of Black professionals and the average man and woman there. How many of you all know that when you are a Black man that uses your position in that kind of a way, and he was one responsible for even, somebody say, even making for some of the top billionaires. The former, what's his name? The former BET guy, they said that he made big money down there in DC because of him and others. Watch this. I'm gonna stop. My point that I'm trying to make is that sometimes we don't know all the agenda, but they know we stand the chance to stand in the way of their geopolitical aims. I'm saying there's a reason Trump is putting the feds in charge of the city, because I speculate that he's trying to control who's getting ready to come in and out in the next month or so. And the reason why your little Black Democrat mayor all of a sudden is changing her tune is because I believe that after she talked to AG Pam Bundy, Pam told her, girl, we just got to do this little. We're going to make sure that y'all get the little extra money. We're just doing this for show. Let us just do this. And now your Black mayor, who was first upset, is saying now she's focused on the resources and she's okay with this. The hell is going on? Stay tuned for part 2. I can't wait to see you again. My name is Vicky Dilla, beloved. Brother Phil's going to be live tonight. Don't you miss it. Check out my